Hello guys, I just finished my second run of Dark Dimension 8. I'm gonna talk about the best teams I used, what I changed from the first run. And I only finished in a little bit more than 2 days. Let's show this. So I also have some print screens from before. So 2 days and 4 hours only. So this is the first node that I used, and this is the second. So in the open section, I wanted to build some charges for Mephisto because he gains extra stats here when people die. I'm not sure here with his Awakened Basic if he gets 130% extra stats or not, but he can get in more than 10 charges. And I wanted to try out Odin, and I brought some characters that would do a lot of damage, like Apocalypse, like the Lady Deathstrike, like Nightcrawler, to build a little bit of their cooldowns, to clear easily the nodes, 2 heroes and 2 villains, so they go with Super Scroll, and to have Super Scroll's ultimate ready. Allman Logan is very strong. So I just tried out Odin, build Mephisto charges, and the first 2 nodes are very easy. So mission 3 and 4 I use Spider Society. I guess there are a few options now with Moon Knight and Blade that could make sense to bring, but on my first run, Ghost Rider Robbie was terrible, and Ghost Spider replaced him as I thought he would, by gaining more healing by Peter B. Parker and staying alive, so I could one-shot both 2 nodes. There are many Hank beams, and they are very annoying because they're full with heroes, and when heroes drop under 40% health, they gain barrier, and then he heals them. So he was my first target, and after that was Nova, because he can put out his battlefield effect, and his battlefield effect does something very similar. When they drop under 50% health, heals them for 50% max health. So you want to avoid this. So I targeted first a Hank Beam to kill him as fast as possible, and then after Nova, and I managed to not have the Nova battlefield effect go off. I needed to reset a few times, like 3 times each node. The first node, you need to survive the initial barrage of damage, and then you can heal up and take it care from there. And Ghost Spider is definitely better than Ghost Spider Robbie. I also brought the 2 best characters that they changed how fast it went for me was Ghost Spider and a Sunspot, which are characters that usually get subbed out of their team or very likely. But I thought, well, they're raid teams. Now we have a Cosmic Crucible rule that buffs a room rule that buffs a raid team, so we may use it there. They're also used on war defense, and maybe they will do something like Orkis Raid 2, and you need to have Purple 3 on the highest difficulty. This is not out of the question to happen. They seem raids even more reliably now, if there's any chance for it to miss. I don't think it is now, but I think there is enough value there to do this, and it definitely probably saved me more than a week and many power cores to bring those 2 characters. So these were my biggest regrets in Dark Dimension 8 the first run, Robbie was trash, Ghost Spider was amazing, and then you had a team with 3 extreme. I'm going to talk about that. Let's go. Let's see what I did with villain city. Okay, so here aren't that many good options. I didn't like Lizard on the first run, and I was contemplating bringing Spider Slayer, but since he's not one of the first characters that I would prefer to put a ISO purple on, I did manage to one-shot both of the nodes. So there is a very annoying thing happening there with Lizard because at the beginning he spreads his death proofs to so he spawns with 5 death proofs and then he spreads them to Sinister 6, and then there's a Void Knight there that you cannot get on time to kill, and he flips them and now everybody has bleeds. So you want to start the first node with his special, so he does, you don't have bleeds on your whole team, and you can on the second node also there is a big time Spider-Man, there's a couple of them, and they can flip a Lizard's death proofs to bleeds, which is also very annoying, but you can reset this also, so he will target Carnage, because then Carnage will get a taunt from Red Goblin, so, and even if Carnage dies, he can revive by Red Goblin, so I did try the nodes and reset them multiple times, and by playing them smarter, you can actually get through them. The 2 hive mind are the best, and I saved my purple ions for other characters like than Spider Slayer, and the team actually worked. Not that Spider Slayer isn't a good option, possibly like spawning the team with offense up, then you can do more damage and get the hive mind rolling. I think Spider Slayer does more damage than Lizard, so this can also help this way, and you don't have the detriment to try to play around the opponents flipping your death proofs. But this team can be successful and can one shot, which is great because there's not too many great options at the moment for Villain City. And then you have Global Hero. So here, instead of like a 7 and 5 attacks or something like this, it took me 2 and 3, which is a great improvement. So the first time people were dying very quickly, and I also started the first node killing the 2 Sentinels at the beginning that caused a lot of trouble afterwards, but having Sunspot on the team, he gives them 25% damage plus 25% by each charge, so 50% more damage plus offense up on spawn, and he puts a defense down, so your team can hit even harder on them. He gives them a lot of energy on spawn if he has his charges that he gains here, but the second node there's a few gores, so you might want to play around this to have him gain his charges back up before he dies. When you revive him, he will still have the charges, which is amazing because then you can spam your ultimate abilities with all 4 extreme. You have Gambits giving them speed up. You have Forge healing them a lot. All his abilities here are healing X-Men, and he gives them charges here, so you can also play a little bit around with Gore and have Nightcrawler give speed bar steal and Gambit put out ability blocks. and here he does a out of turn damage by X-Men allies turn. So there's a lot of synergy here that makes this very he gains speed bar here. So there's a lot of synergy that makes this very strong. And also on the second note, there's a Allman Logan that was extremely irritating in the first time I tried this, and I wanted to play around very to time it correctly so Black Knight can perma kill him either with his passive charge here that the enemy is killed by this that cannot be revived, or by this here. This also is permakill and this is not. Here you had Sunspot going in. He used his ultimate on Allman Logan that was almost full health. Did apply defense down, then striker attack, and a one shot on Allman Logan that was like 90% health. So yeah, this team does do a lot more damage. There is energy flowing around, and by them spawning again with a full energy and offense up, you can spawn the ultimate, so you can progress a lot faster than trying to rely on Hank Pym's healing. And also this saved me some cores because I had 6 characters, so I only revived the 4 extreme and went in with Black Knight and then with Hank Pym. And when you have the team being stronger, Hank Pym also showed up and was very strong. You could use this in your advantage because all the extreme are heroes, so he was helping them, keeping them alive. He has some synergy here. He barriers the heroes. He applies assist. Here he heals heroes and clears them vulnerable. Here he heals heroes again. So this definitely worked out a lot better than the first time. Again, at the beginning of the first node, you want to kill the 2 sentinels because there's another 2 coming, I think, an Omega Sentinel. So then you have them getting taunt all the time and safeguard, and they heal too much and you cannot get through it. Sunspot was amazing and highly recommend him if you don't have a Captain Britain ready. Manthing at some point will be an option, I guess. I don't know what he would do at the stars, but right now you want Extreme here and a Spider Society, I think, in a Hero City. Then Orkis Apocalypse, 9th and 10th node. You need to reset them a couple of times. The 10th node is a little bit tricky because at some point spawn a gladiator and not at the beginning Thanos Endgame and some X Factor member that in this case are very strong and yeah, so was very happy with this team. Apocalypse spawns with immunity, so then Scientist Supreme throwing the negative effects doesn't affect him, which is nice. Very satisfied with how this went. I brought Agatha mostly because I wanted to have her outside of Dark Dimension 8 and to spend a little bit less cores to heal them up because now we will be having Zombie Scarlet Witch coming in the game that might require a lot of cores. And she wasn't that great, but you can time out this so you can put out offense down that also goes on Agatha, and then maybe basic with Agatha, or try to special and put a stun out, and then flip it so Agatha then has offense up, and she can use her ultimate, and then it does do good damage, and it's nice. But yeah, I wouldn't even think to bring Agatha instead of someone else of Orkis in the context of getting through Dark Dimension 8 fast. Orkis are also super important everywhere right now. Then you have the last section, first node, second node. The last node ended up taking me 3 attacks, but it was almost cleared by 2. I'm very happy with this team. Uh, Odin is amazing, and I think it's very revolutionary that Odin was great in Dark Dimension 8. And they almost cleared the first node. Then this team cleaned up, and the second node, this team did decently well. So I saved some heals by bringing this team and healing only 2 people, and they killed the opponent's Mephisto plus the first 2 waves, and then the first team also cleared this and half of the mission 13 on the next day. So very highly recommended to bring this team: Old Man Logan, Odin, Mephisto, Super Scroll, and Thanos Endgame. It's 2 heroes, 2 villains for Super Scroll. Odin can does put the battlefield effect on the opponent's side and attacks them. Mephisto has one on your side. And what is it here? Thanos Endgame is very important in some cases to clear either with his passive or with his ultimate safeguard from the opponents. And he does do decent damage, but especially this control with the opponent gladiators and apocalypses, so you can control them. So let's see how this team dealt with Odin when he dropped on the last node. So you are having 2 people assist here. You have Odin and you have Old Man Logan, which is great. Odin cannot gain drama. So he clears some positive effects, but it's not enough. Second passive prop. From there it's an easy cleanup.